From KTTV Los Angeles, this is Fox News.
The dream season isn't over yet. Against all odds, the Los Angeles Dodgers are the champions of the National League. This was the scene at Chavez Ravine as Orel Hershiser struck out the Mets' Howard Johnson to clinch the pennant. Dodger Stadium was a madhouse, and there are celebrations underway all across the Southland tonight. Next on the Dodgers hit list, the Oakland A's for baseball's World Championship, and maybe even more important, bragging rights for the entire state of California. Good evening, everyone. That's right. Unbelievable as it may have seemed at the beginning of the season, the Los Angeles Dodgers are the National League champions. We're going to go to a live picture now from above Dodger Stadium, where Game 7 ended about an hour and a half ago. That's the picture. More than 56,000 fans were on hand for the Dodger victory. And if you look carefully, very carefully, it looks like some of those Dodger fans out in the parking lot are still enjoying what Tommy Lasorda calls the fruits of victory.
You have to really look carefully to see that. Unbelievable is right, especially after everybody said the Mets were a better team. Yeah. Rick didn't say it, but everybody else did. No. Rick Garcia joins us now with the details as the Dodgers and all of L.A. celebrate the championship.
The Dodgers didn't buy that line either, and the Oakland A's, I don't know if they have to watch out, but I think that they better be careful about what they say. Let's show you what happened in the newspaper yesterday. This is the Daily News. I don't know if you can see that above the name there. It's up to Orel Hershiser. Now, we got a quiz for you. What do you think happened? Just in case you didn't know, Dodgers win. This is tomorrow's paper, the Daily News, and Oakland is here Saturday. Boy, are the Dodgers scared? I doubt it. The celebration is on. The Dodgers are the champions, and their sights are now on the World Series and American League champion Oakland A's. It has been all year that the team has come through in a total effort, and it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment it looked like the Dodgers would win. But one of the biggest plays, if not the biggest, happened in the second inning. Steve Sachs at the plate facing Ron Darling with the bases packed and one run already in. The second baseman lined a single to center, and the beating was on. Jeff Hamilton would score, also Alfredo Griffin. The Dodgers went on to score 5 runs in the inning, and the Mets just couldn't recover. Now, let's go back out to the stadium. Tom Nettles is standing by in the Dodger locker room. Tom, I just got the dry cleaning bill back for my suit after the Dodgers clinched the West, and I bet you're prepared, although I don't think your clothes were as nice tonight because you learned from my experience, didn't you?
You got it, Rick. I understand how these things work, and I wore my you can throw your champagne all over me clothes tonight, and that was the kind of occasion it was here earlier in the Dodger locker room. It is now all but closed out. Just a few guys remaining, and one of those guys is Steve Sachs, who played such an instrumental part in the season and in, of course, the playoff victory over the Mets. Steve, I guess we should start all over. You've said it 1,000 times, but it has to be, if not the top of the world yet, it's a pretty tall hill you're on top of.
It sure is. You know, you dream about becoming a Major League Baseball player when you're a young kid, and then you get in the big leagues, and then you're fortunate to get with a great organization like the Dodgers, and then for the team to pull together and a team that's picked 4th or 5th in the division to win the division and then beat the Mets in the playoffs, it's just it's a great feeling. You really can't describe it.
It's extra special too to have beaten the Mets, the Mets, the proud Mets. Some people think the arrogant Mets, and they've been #1 in the National League all year long, at least on paper. But now they're not.
Well, that's right, and I think the best team wins in baseball. You know, some people are going to say, well, the Dodgers won, but the Mets are a better team. I really don't believe it. I think we're a better team, and we proved it tonight. And I know what you mean about the attitude, the arrogance, if you will, but we see it too, you know, and we're not immune to seeing the things that they do, but it makes it that much sweeter.
Well, congratulations. I know you want to join your friends. Thanks for staying back, and go out and enjoy yourself tonight.
Thank you.
All right, World Series starts on Saturday, of course, and we'll talk a lot more about that and the pitching matchups later on. For those Mets, those once proud, arrogant Mets who were on the losing end of this series, let's see how they felt. Let's go to Joe Battista.
All right, thank you, Tom, and hello, everybody. As they used to say in my own neighborhood, go figure. Go figure how the Dodgers, who lost 10 of 11 to the Mets in the regular season, are now the National League champions, and go figure how the Mets, who were picked to win everything since April, are not the National League champions. I'm not going to figure, but I'm going to have Jim Cott, a 13-year veteran of the Twins, Major League Baseball All-Star, and now working for ESPN as a baseball analyst, help me go figure. How did this happen, and what happened tonight?
Well, go figure is a good term because if you went position by position, we've all said there's no way the Dodgers would beat the Mets, and you're going to think the same thing when you stack them up against the Oakland Athletics. Emotion, and I know from playing, plays a big part in this game. Not as big as home runs by Kirk Gibson and sinkers and sliders on the outside corner by Orel Hershiser, but the David Cohn article ignited the Dodgers, gave them an opportunity to get back into the series, and then tonight with Orel Hershiser on the mound, they needed that, and a couple little early inning breaks there. The botched bunt play, The shaky first inning by Hershiser, big out was the ground ball by Strawberry and the line drive by McReynolds, and then the timely base hit by Steve Sachs and fill in the frames.
We got 10 seconds left. Pick a winner in the World Series.
I got to go with Oakland. I picked Boston, but Oakland's very impressive. I don't know if the Dodgers can get back to this emotional high.
Jim Cott, thank you. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, fine. Rick, back to you.
Thanks, gentlemen. That's what's happening at Dodger Stadium right now. But what about just a few hours ago? As we've said, tonight's victory was just like the Dodgers' entire season, a complete team effort. But once again, right-hander Orel Hershiser was the star among stars. In the first inning, the Mets were threatening to jump out to a big lead. But with 2 men on, the Dodgers ace got last night's Met hero Kevin McReynolds to line out, ending the threat. But in the Dodgers' second, it wasn't Hershiser's arm that helped the Dodgers, but the bat. And watch the play here. When Mets rookie Greg Jeffries could not come up with the grounder, another Dodger run was in, and it was the beginning of the end for New York. And of course, those were just a few of the exciting highlights from tonight's shutout victory. We'll have much more in just a few minutes, including post-game interviews with the winners and the losers. So stay tuned for a Fox News special, Dodgers 88, coming up immediately after this newscast at 10:30.
You know what we need? We need Oakland, someone in Oakland to insult the Dodgers now. Get them
Don
upset.
Baylor has already started doing that. He said that he would like to play the best team, and the Mets are the best team.
Oh,
Well,
good,
it looked a lot like the
That's
Mets.
what we need.
Looks like the Mets beat themselves tonight in those 3 key misplays in the second inning. With all due respect to the Dodgers, well, the game may be over, but the parties have just begun. Pat Lalama once again has that difficult assignment tonight of covering those loyal Dodgers.
I don't understand. I was a good husband. I gave my wife everything she wanted.
I had nothing. I had a home, but no husband.
I'm a witness to this. They are dancing on the graves of the Mets tonight. We decided not to go to a tragically hip LA bar. We are at Echo Park, the shortstop where the floors are sticky and there's no valet parking, and Dodger fever is true blue. Go to the tape.
The Dodger victory was a slice of Americana. And at the shortstop bar in Echo Park, the slice was even sweeter. Because if these walls could talk, generations of Dodger stories would be told. The original stadium seats that comforted many a tired player's weary bones. And the faces of characters whose love for this team is unmatched. Fans since the LA Dodgers were the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 30s.
Well, I think the people in Brooklyn are still very put out that they ever moved.
A Dodger Stadium employee for 14 years. What's it feel like tonight for you?
Relief, really. I didn't think we were going to do it, you know.
And this guy who claims his wife left him in the last Dodger playoff because his picture ended up on the front page of the Herald surrounded by 4 allegedly unknown women.
Well, I can blame the Dodgers for that, but I'm still a fan.
At one time, this place was considered one of the 3 best hangouts for players in the National League. The players aren't here too much, but boy, the fans sure make up for it. My head hurts. Live from Echo Park, Pat Lalama, Fox News.
Whose party is it?
What'd she say? I'm not sure what she said, but I'm sure it was witty and urbane. The scramble is on for World Series tickets after tonight's game. They are going to be like gold at Murray's. There are still some tickets available for a few of the World Series games. These $50 tickets were selling for $750 this afternoon, but now that the Dodgers are in it, they will undoubtedly fetch an even higher price. There is much more ahead when Fox News continues. Another day, 2 more huge hauls of cocaine. We'll show you how drug agents are using radar to stop smuggling by air.
And we'll check in to see what the presidential candidates did on the day before their final debate. Stay with us.
I don't understand. I was a good husband. I gave my wife everything she wanted.
I had nothing. I had a home, but no husband.
18 years of my life that company had. I was the best.
He'd go to lunch and never come back. I liked him, but...
Sometimes the last person to see an alcohol problem is the person who has the problem.
Why me? Why?
Beats me, pal. Call Care Unit. We help more people stop using alcohol and drugs than any other hospital program.
I don't have to worry about Track Auto's quality. It's there. I can concentrate on what I do best.
Bowling lesson?
Oh, Fred, you're up.
This week at Track, Haviland 10W30 or 10W40 motor oil is just 54 cents a quart. GE Power Plus halogen headlamps are as low as $5.99 each. Plastic Color custom fit car mats are just $18.99 a set.
If you need it, Track's got it. I bring your arm back like this for the release.
Like this?
Track Auto.
Listen up for a great deal, you see. Just 88 cents gets you cable TV. You get more entertainment, more channels, more fun. More choice, more value, more for everyone. Call 1-800-321-2600 and get cable TV, HBO, and Cinemax installed for as low as 88 cents. Plus your first month of HBO or Cinemax for 88 cents. Offer limited, 1-800-321-2600. Choose cable TV.
When your stomach feels like this, you want this. And when your stomach feels like this, now you can choose this. Introducing new Maximum Strength Pepto-Bismol. Now there's twice the medicine, twice the Pepto.
Three incredible drug busts in the Southland have taken more than $500 million worth of cocaine out of circulation this week. 1,600 pounds were grabbed from Colombians over the weekend, and another 1,500 pounds was seized in Irwindale today. Last night near Chino, DEA and customs agents seized a plane hauling 1,200 pounds of coke worth another $200 million. They used a sophisticated new $23 million radar tracking system from March Air Force Base near Riverside. It uses weather balloons and surveillance aircraft to intercept suspicious planes. The jet confiscated in this bust was worth $1 million.
So at one point in the United States, they'll be able to look at the entire Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and California borders with Mexico at one location and simultaneously launch aircraft from different sites along the border to intercept those aircraft coming in.
Agents claim this was the largest haul ever in Riverside County and brings the amount of cocaine seized in the Southland since last weekend to over 5,100 pounds.
Investigators tonight say a freak accident and not arson caused yesterday's fire at LA's Central Library. The fire caused a lot of smoke, but not much damage. It was put out almost immediately. Yesterday's blaze was the third fire at the library since 1986. The two earlier fires were deliberately set and destroyed 400,000 books. The arsonist is still at large. Tuesday's fire started when construction material still hot from a welding torch dropped through a hole onto a pile of rubbish. A Los Angeles union official was shot to death at work today. It happened at the offices of the Steamfitters Local 250 near Los Angeles Harbor. 56-year-old Willie Sanford had just reported to work. Police say another union member walked into the union hall and opened fire on him. Sanford was rushed to Harbor General Hospital with a bullet wound in his head. Family members stood vigil at the hospital but were given little reason for hope.
Except that the damage that he sustained was so massive that the physician told us he probably was totally 100% brain dead before he hit the ground.
Sanford's son says the suspect was often employed by his father, which made the shooting that much more difficult to understand.
It's hard to believe a man to get a job and then turn around and shoot the man that give it to him.
The suspect, 53-year-old Ronald Soisette, remains at large tonight.
1/3 of the charges against the defendants in the McMartin preschool molestation case have been dropped tonight. Judge William Pounders today dismissed 27 charges against Peggy McMartin Bucky and her son Ray. In addition, prosecutors moved to drop 8 other counts, apparently because of insufficient evidence after 3 children refused to testify. The DA's office says it has enough evidence to convict the Buckys on the 65 remaining charges against them, but the defense claims that prosecutors are simply trying to cut their losses by eliminating the children who told the most bizarre stories of molestation. The trial has now been going 15 months. The defense will begin calling witnesses next week. A major U.S. defense contractor has agreed to plead guilty to fraud and to pay a whopping $115 million in fines. For 5 years, the Rockford, Illinois-based Sunstrand Corporation has underbid on defense contracts and then later billed the Pentagon millions of dollars in hidden costs. The company admits the Defense Department paid for such things as birthday parties, servants, and country club dues. Pentagon officials may now suspend Sunstrom from bidding on contracts, but the government needs the sophisticated aircraft parts manufactured by the company, so the suspension may last only a couple of months.
Tomorrow night's presidential debate could very well decide the outcome of Campaign 88. Political analysts say it's particularly crucial for Dukakis to make a good showing because he continues to trail George Bush in the national polls. Tony Valdez reports on last-minute preparations And he looks at whether the debate is a face-to-face discussion of the issues or simply a media event.
Lights, cameras, action. Tomorrow night's debate at UCLA will have all the trappings of a Tinseltown production. In fact, the 37 miles of television cable that will be used would easily stretch from Westwood to Hollywood and back.
Talking normally, 1, 2, 3.
For the engineers as well as the candidates, there will be no room for error during this live broadcast with an anticipated audience of more than 60 million people.
Contrary to what you've been hearing about the apathy of the American public, we've been pleased and proud that more people have watched both the presidential and the vice presidential debate this year than watched in 1984.
With 4 weeks left before the election, Governor Michael Dukakis spent a few minutes today pitching in downtown Los Angeles, and Vice President George Bush was running in Beverly Hills.
Feeling pretty good.
Many political analysts believe that from this point on, personalities will count more than platforms toward a victory.
Fortunately, the vice president comes across in his own natural way as a very likable, warm fellow that is a very desirable individual. People feel very comfortable with him.
And that's why television is so important, because it brings candidates right into the homes of the people who put them into office.
It's into their living rooms, into their dining rooms, into their kitchens, into their bedrooms, every night for 4 years. And so they want to know who this person is that they're inviting in.
In that sense, Congressman Coelho described George Bush as the candidate who could inherit America's love affair with Ronald Reagan, while Michael Dukakis was characterized as a blind date. In Los Angeles, Tony Valdez, Fox News.
Still ahead, investigators have come up with a cause in yesterday's Central Library fire.
And surprising news about who's making it big in the construction business. Don't go away.
Marilyn.
Hi.
She's glamorous.
Zowie.
She's sexy. She's legendary.
Look how she moves. It's just like Jell-O on springs.
Fox 11 presents 2 nights of classic Marilyn.
This is a wonderful party.
Tonight at 8, some like it hot. Friday, it's the 7-year itch. Classic Marilyn, only on Fox 11.
In selecting the winner of the European Car of the Year award, judges have considered the following criteria: value and general design, performance, handling and general roadworthiness, safety.
Introducing the winner of the European Car of the Year award by the widest margin in history, the Peugeot 405.
Books cost too much, so I opened Crown Books. Now you'll never have to pay full price again. If you enjoy art, cook, travel, mystery, or how-to books, they're all here. We have over 10,000 books to browse through. The lives of John Lennon, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Does Albert Goldman tell it like it was? You decide, just $14.92. Sherlock Holmes' original stories and illustrations as they appeared in the Strand, just $7.98. So remember, if you paid full price, you didn't buy it at Crown Books.
This may seem like just a phone, but it's also your tool in getting help if you've been involved in an accident. By dialing this number, you reach the 24-hour accident helpline and attorneys with over 20 years' experience in personal injury law. Call now and help will be at your door within 24 hours, and you pay nothing until your case is settled. Now the answer to your problems is within reach. Call 1-800-343-6733.
Well, since we already told you about the library fire, this item about lifestyle stress. No matter how hard we try, those of us who live in the Southland just cannot seem to buy peace of mind. According to an article in Psychology Today, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Bakersfield rank among the 25 most stressful cities in America. Now, the author based his results on crime, suicide, alcoholism, and divorce rates, not weather or climate or lifestyle. The magazine says State College, Pennsylvania, that's the name of the city, is the best place to live for psychological well-being. The worst, predictably, Reno and Las Vegas. Kirsty.
Billionaire developer and mega mogul Donald Trump is buying up a chunk of Eastern Airlines. Trump's agreed to pay $365 million to purchase the Eastern Shuttle, which serves Boston, New York, and Washington. The shuttle is considered Eastern's crown jewel. It is their most profitable operation. The airlines union say they will go to court to block the deal. They say selling off the profitable shuttle could mean the end of Eastern Airlines. Donald Trump intends to name his new airline after himself. But the men don't own everything. Alan is here to tell us about some of the tens of thousands of female bosses in Southern California.
Well, women are getting the key to big business, and as you can see, it's a big key to big business. Folks, women are getting more of your money. In the last decade, about 2/3 of the new jobs were filled by women, and more women are starting businesses.
These women are getting help from the U.S. Small Business Administration to set up their own businesses. Since 1980, the number of companies owned by women is up 50%, and some companies are making a lot of money.
We're seeing unusual growth in construction and manufacturing for women business owners. In fact, receipts for them increased 200%.
Women now own about 10% of construction firms. The concrete and steel contractor on this job is this woman.
Construction typically is the man carpenter, the man, in my case, iron worker, and obviously I can't go out in the field and place steel.
Despite handicaps, women ownership is growing. In fact, here in Los Angeles, women own more than 52,000 businesses. And it's estimated that those businesses owned by women have nearly $2 billion of sales each year.
By the way, 28% of all businesses owned by one person are owned by women. Now, Mendelsohn here hopes the stocks you own did better than the industrials. They fell a sharp 30 points in moderate trading. The transports fell 16 as oil prices rose. Our stocks to watch fell, including market leader General Motors. A weak dollar led the sell-off. There is worry that tomorrow's trade deficit report will increase fears about inflation. Gold rose $4, silver up 12 cents. Well, as you know, Wall Street analysts say a Republican win for the White House will help stock prices in November, while a Democratic win will hurt stock prices. But who will win the election? Well, a study by stock market analyst William Lefebvre of Advest tells us the World Series can predict the election. According to the World Series predictor, when the American League wins, the Republicans win. And when the National League wins, the Democrats win. The World Series predictor has a batting average of 889 over the last 9 elections. Not bad, fans. Perhaps we can extend this World Series predictor to the stock market, so that if the American League wins the series, stocks will go up in November. If the National League wins, stocks will go down. Now, you all believe that, don't you?
No. So you're saying it's Dodgers and Dukakis and stocks going down. Oh, great.
Right, yeah.
But it was George Bush who was at the game tonight. Equal time, folks. Just right. That's the way to describe today's weather, but it won't stay that way, unfortunately. The downtown high was 84 degrees. Overnight, the mercury sank to 54. Generally pleasant weather over most of the country, but snow showers are predicted over parts of Maine. Rain is expected across Idaho and northwest Montana, with strong and gusty winds over the northern Rockies. Another cool one tonight. We can expect low clouds and high winds with lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow it'll be sunny during the day, then turn partly cloudy with the highs in the mid-70s. Our Fox 5-day forecast calls for partly cloudy days and warmer temperatures over the weekend. Beautiful autumn weather.
Yes.
Still ahead, a second reading of the controversial book about John Lennon. Eric Burns turns the page and finds a different story than he did the first time around.
But first, it's time to see if you've won millions of dollars. Here are tonight's winning lotto numbers.
Listen up, it's the last chance, you see, to get a real special deal installing cable TV. Big savings, dollars and cents, get you started on the best, on the most, it makes sense. You get news, you get sports, you get movies, all sorts. You get shows for the kids, the husband, the wife. You get songs, you get laughs, every interest in your life. More entertainment, more channels, more fun. More choice, more value, you can tape it on the run. Order now, call the number that you see on your screen. Save money, and you'll see what we mean.
This is your last week to call 1-800-321-6400 and get cable TV, HBO, and Cinemax installed for as low as 88 cents. Offer is limited. Call 1-800-321-6400. 1-800-321-6400.
So for total entertainment, the place you should be is choosing from the channels on cable TV.
I'm Cy Sperling, president of the Hair Club for Men, and these are just a few of the men who called our toll-free number for our booklet about thinning hair. This is the booklet that tells you what you need to know about every hair replacement method available. It discusses everything from toupees and wigs to transplants and weaves, and it even has a section on the realities and misconceptions of minoxidil. Just call our toll-free number now, and I'll send you our new updated edition, which includes a whole new series of before and after photos like these. These men are actual clients and not models. They're men like you who discovered that you don't need drugs or chemicals, surgery or miracles to have a full head of hair. To get all the facts free and without obligation, just call our toll-free number now, and I'll send you the new booklet. And remember, I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
We have an item from our Setting the Record Straight file tonight. Eric Burns has what we hope but don't really expect to be the final chapter in the controversy over a new John Lennon biography.
In commenting on Albert Goldman's biography of John Lennon a few weeks ago, I said the following: the most troubling things Goldman tells us about Lennon have either been published before or have been verified in Goldman's book by several other sources. As far as I know, none of these sources has contradicted Goldman. Well, now it seems at least two have. The documentation for Goldman's bitterly negative portrait of John Lennon is beginning to fall apart.
And when I touch you, I feel happy inside.
According to an article in the October 20th issue of Rolling Stone magazine, a musician named Jesse Ed Davis and a hanger-on named Tony Monero both claimed that Goldman lied when he quoted them about Lennon in his book. It gets worse. Two of Goldman's major sources for the book were a woman named Marnie Hare, a friend of Yoko's, and Fred Seaman, a gopher for John. Rolling Stone has learned this. Hare sued Yoko for $1.5 million when her daughter was injured playing with Yoko's son Sean. Hare was awarded only $18,000. As for Seaman, he was indicted for grand larceny for stealing Lennon's diaries and personal effects, apparently to use for a book he planned to write about Lennon. The book was never written. In other words, both Hare and Seaman bore grudges against John or Yoko or both. In other words, both sources had reasons to deceive Albert Goldman. Neither, by the way, would speak to Rolling Stone. Now, I got this T-shirt in the mail the other day, courtesy of a man who once promoted a concert at which Lennon appeared. It's not the right size. It may be the right sentiment.
And that's Fox News for Wednesday night. Thank you for watching.
Please stay tuned for Dodger 88 with Rick Garcia coming up next, and a current affair will follow at 11.
Good night, everyone, and congratulations, Dodgers.
Yes, good night.